Today we're going to talk about Leonardo da Vinci, an artist, a scientist and a genius. He was born in Italy in 1452. At this time, Europe was going through the years that are known as the Renaissance. This was one of the most important events in European history. It was a revolution in art, culture and science. It was when Europe moved away from a world ruled by religion and towards a world ruled by science, logic and technology. Before the Renaissance, in medieval times, the church was very important in Europe. But from the Renaissance onwards, people started to question this, and they started to use science to understand the world. During this time, people looked back to the world of ancient Greece and ancient Rome, their style of art, their love of science, their love of knowledge. In fact, the word Renaissance is a French word that in English means rebirth. It means the rebirth of the old Greek and Roman world. That's what people were trying to achieve during the Renaissance. These years saw the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus and the discovery of Earth's place in the solar system by Galileo. Da Vinci was born into this exciting world of change and progress. When he was 14, he started working for an artist as an apprentice. This meant that he learnt all the skills he would need from this man. He learnt to draw, paint and build things using wood and metal. Da Vinci was so talented that by the age of 20, he had already got his own studio. He later became one of the greatest artists of all time, and his most famous painting is the Mona Lisa. He was originally asked to do the painting for someone else, but in the end, Da Vinci never sold it. He held on to it for the rest of his life. Today, the Mona Lisa is kept in the most important museum in Paris. It's one of the few paintings that need to be protected behind bulletproof glass. But although he was a great artist, that was only a small part of what Da Vinci did. He was a genius and was extremely talented in many different areas. He was an engineer, a scientist, and an inventor. There is a phrase in English to describe someone like this: a Renaissance man. This phrase probably started with Da Vinci, but you can use it now to describe anyone who is very talented in lots of different areas. Today, most people focus on one thing, such as science or art or literature. But in Da Vinci's time, people tried to learn as much as possible about everything. They didn't see a division between art and science like we do today. They wanted to understand everything. The amount of things that Da Vinci was a master of was incredible. While he was an apprentice, he learned about the human body, something called anatomy. He became an expert on how the body works, and he did drawings of all the different body parts. He did very accurate drawings of the human skeleton, its muscles and its organs like the heart and the lungs. He did the same for different animals too, and he compared how the bodies of humans and other animals are different. He also invented an enormous number of new things. These machines that he invented include flying machines, both an aeroplane and a helicopter, a bicycle, and various war machines. Many of these things were invented by Da Vinci 500 years before they were invented again by other people. Things like the bicycle and flying machines. The problem was that Da Vinci didn't publish his work, so nobody knew about all the things he'd invented. It was only many years later, now that we look back at his work, that we can see how he actually did invent all these things, hundreds of years before anyone else. He wrote 13,000 pages of notes about scientific discoveries he'd made, new things he'd built, and of course his art as well. He was a genius and probably one of the most talented people of all time. But what was so amazing about him was that he wasn't just a great artist or a great scientist, or a great inventor. He was all of them at the same time. No other person in history has been the master of so many different things.